My name is Jake Patton. I am a theater major and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I was ready to take on college and I thought that it would be similar to high school in that the classes would be easier than the harder ones. However, when I got here, they were definitely a little bit harder than I thought that they were going to be, and so I had to challenge myself a little more and learn how to fight back against the waves that college is. It was an adjustment to get used to being 3 hours away from home, not getting to see my family every day, and like figuring out ways to keep up with my classes but still like take care of myself. My community has been more within the theater department, and just like finding all of these friends who I can like talk to about like my life and like issues that I may be having or stuff I'm struggling with, and they're there to support me and kind of give me advice. I've done every single show that I possibly could have, and so piling the workload for my classes on top of the workload from the shows, on top of trying to take care of myself, it was a bit of a struggle.
So freshman year, for some students, it's very traumatic. We don't talk about that a lot of times. You are all of a sudden away from home, away from everything that is comfortable and normal and safe. And some students, that's really hard.
You go your entire life, particularly if you're looking at a college student, you just entered into adulthood. For the first 17 years of your life, people were telling you who you were or who they wanted you to be. And then when you get to college, it's almost like culture shock because you're trying to reconcile what you believed about yourself and what people maybe projected on you, not in a completely with good intentions usually, but then also what you believe about yourself or what you find interesting or who do you want to be.
They're beginning to make a series of big choices of their own. So choosing a college, which college I go to, choosing my major, choosing who my new friend group is going to be. A lot of those things are choices that allow students to really begin to explore their emerging identity.
Coming to college, I was scared about making friends. I was like, I don't know like who I'm going to be friends with or whatever. And then when I got put in the BCT class with all of the other arts majors, I was like, oh, these people are pretty cool. Like I'll be friends with them for a while. They feel like my home away from home, right? Like a couple of them remind me of my mom, some remind me of my sister, my dad, my brother, stuff like that. And so it's just kind of this feeling of you can talk to these people, they'll listen and they'll respond to you and they'll help you through whatever you're going through. Something that I've learned is that I don't just have to be friends with a certain group of people. Like there's lots of people like from admissions that I work with who have led me into like the sports kids, which I was not friends with in high school. And so I think that kind of expanding the people that I am close to, that part has changed about me. But I've also learned that it's okay to be myself and like no one's like really judging me hardcore like I thought that they were in high school. I'm sure that they weren't, but that's definitely what it felt like. Coming into school, I was unsure if I could handle a lot of work, but being challenged with the work that I've been given, it's definitely been something that I've noticed that I like can handle everything that I've been given. And I may have to work harder to get there, but it's something that I've like figured out that, hey, you're gonna be okay. Like it looks difficult right now, but you'll be fine down the road a little bit.
First year is all about trying things on and seeing what sticks.
The freshman year is a time to really begin to choose what friends I'd like to explore, what subjects I'd like to explore, what issues I'd like to explore, and there's not a right or wrong answer. You begin to challenge yourself to grow in new ways.
My personal impression of the freshman class is that we are very eager. I think that for most of us, junior year and senior year were kind of shut down by COVID because that's when it kind of spiked. And so I think coming back into class in person has just been a big adjustment for us. And I think that for anyone, college is like a new experience, and it's just something that like everyone is like eager for in general, because we're like, oh, we're moving away from home. Usually you're moving away from home and like you're meeting a lot of new people, and like you don't, like some of these friends could be at your wedding, some could be at your funeral, like you don't know. So I just think that's probably one of the reasons for our eagerness. I am very excited about the rest of my time at Barry. I think that Barry has so many good opportunities for students, but also like for me, something that I was afraid of was kind of like expanding my comfort zone a little bit. And I think that Barry has challenged me, and so I'm excited for the challenges that lie ahead.
The first year, you've tried some things out, you've experimented, you've tested your own values and beliefs apart from family. Second year, you start to really navigate what of those do you want to keep as your own and what of those you want to let go.
My name is Nia Allen, and my major is exercise science with a concentration in allied health and like pre-professional, and chemistry minor actually as well now, and I'm from Rome, Georgia. I would describe my sophomore class as dynamic. We were graduating seniors that didn't have the normal senior year, and then we came into college with COVID. So I think, we're set up to really be able to face anything. My freshman year, it was a journey to say the least, because, right, I came in the COVID year, so it was just very non-traditional. When I first came here, right, obviously I struggled with finding acceptance and feeling like I had a place here. So I think for me, my freshman year was very isolating, and then also being a commuter and being from Rome, I was kind of even more on top of that, separated from people. I feel like for me, sophomore year has been a lot of trying to figure out who I am as a person.
I hope students at Barry, when they're here, that they learn that it is okay to be who they are, and that it's okay to take this time at college and discover who do you want to be.
But especially for our students of color, or students who are exploring gender identity and whatnot, college or these years, the late teens, early 20s, are such a huge part of that, of figuring out what that means to you.
I am a biracial person, and obviously I don't go around parading it like, yeah, I'm biracial, but at the same time, it's something that I struggle with my identity in the sense of, being half black and half white. You kind of struggle with, hey, like, do I more identify with my white side, or do I more identify with my black side? In my sophomore year, I've gained a lot more confidence from my experiences from last semester, but I've also learned to just be like comfortable in my own skin, and that's the main thing that I learned when it comes to, I guess, my personality and growing into the person that I am, and acknowledging that because of my background doesn't make me any less of a person, and that I deserve a seat at the table.
Second year is when you start to see the blossoming of really like, okay, here's who I think I want to become.
The kind of education that we provide here at Barry, and the way that we talk about it as being an education of the head, heart, and hands, because that's caring for the whole student, right? And that is such a rare thing to find.
The foundations curriculum helps students explore their identity. For some, it's opening up professions, it's opening up career paths, it's opening up just a world, if you will, that maybe they never thought of.
I think there's so much pressure on college students to know what they want to do for the rest of their life, and it's just not realistic, So I came in declared as biology and a focus on like pre-med or pre-professional. I was doing that because I felt like, okay, this is a secure job, right? This is a way that I can look to my future, but this is what I know what I'm gonna do. But deep down, right, and I had to do some reflecting of like, okay, Nia, like, you have to be okay with not knowing. You have to find a major at the end of the day that you feel at peace with, and that's how I knew that exercise science was for me, because I felt at peace with the faculty there. They're so accepting and welcoming, and allowed me to feel like I had the freedom to explore different things. But I had to relearn or unlearn the stigma that like you have to know it all. Like honestly, even now I can't tell you 100% what I want to do, but I think that's okay.
You have the freedom to explore who you are and express who you are in a way that people are gonna come alongside of you and say, keep going, you know.
Identity can be impacted by your mentors, and we emphasize that so much now on campus. So whether that's faculty mentor or work supervisor or peer-to-peer.
If, you know, you try on something new, if you're testing your beliefs or your values, or you're really wrestling with who you are in your identity, that this is a place that you feel safe.
I think it's all about finding your niche, and I think once you find that, and also knowing that it's okay that it's gonna it's gonna change, and it is okay that it changes, and having people come in and out, it's okay because you learn a lot from people in the time in between and the time together. So I've kind of found my niche of like people that I feel accepted in, and I can get to kind of blend well with. And now I just am more excited because I'm more on track and know like, hey, like I'm confident in my major and what it has to offer, and that I know that the people that are there have resources and it has it set up for me to be able to be successful. I know it's gonna be tough just academically, but I mean, if it was easy, everybody would do it. So I know that I can at least look back and be proud that I walked away with a diploma. I'd be the second generation of my family to graduate from college, so it's a great accomplishment, and I am looking forward to like continuing education after Berry and whatever that looks like.
My name is Lirio Morales Ibarra. I'm from Calhoun, Georgia. I'm a junior at Berry. I'm studying sociology and anthropology, and I have double minors in social entrepreneurship and Spanish. When I came to college, I don't think I had a good sense of identity. I feel like I was just trying to keep up. So as a freshman, I came into Berry as a Bonner Scholar, and just like from that knew that Berry was going to be my home. I also came in undeclared, which played like a huge factor in like how I thought of my experiences. My sophomore year is honestly kind of a blur. I feel like it just went by so fast. So that's when I started working in admissions, and just loved it. Like the people there are so nice and so just amazing. But like when I look back at my journey at Berry, like that's really where it all started. That's where I got to ask all of the questions, and just like start that journey. And next year I'll be a student admission counselor, which is super cool. I've seen my experiences in high school, like my experiences as a first generation college student, just pushing me to where I want to go and to help other people.
So I think the LifeWorks program really, for some, is a huge driving factor with identity development.
In personal and professional development, we tend to try to help students think more about the kind of lives that they want to live, which is tied to questions of identity in terms of purpose.
I think this year specifically, I feel like I'm starting to pinpoint what exactly I want to do after college, which are some big steps. I started working in the career development office, and I also became the student director for the English as a Second Language childcare program. Both of those have been super cool experiences, and again just have continued to shape in what I want to do, and it's just really cool to, I think, see the way that those have changed me, but also hopefully do my best to like leave a positive impact. And as a first generation student, like not really having a ton of like social capital has been really neat as well. So like I can go ask the admissions counselors questions, I can ask my bosses at career development questions, and so that's also been really helpful. This past summer too, this might be like a little too personal, but I also got diagnosed with ADHD, which has like changed a lot. So this year has been like finding the adjustments that I need and balance. Identity in that way has also like just grown to be more self-compassionate.
Take this time, and in the 4 years that you have here, there has to be some time in that where you are really focused on, okay, not what do I want to just do when I leave here, but who do I want to be?
Those experiences have continued to form me in my identity today, so I definitely am not the same as I was freshman year in a lot of good ways. The impression that I get from like the junior class as a whole is that we're just really go-getters. Like, we were freshmen when COVID first hit, so we only got a first semester of Barry. So I think for me, and I think like when I have conversations with friends, it's just helped us to like be really intentional with our time, and if you want something, just go for it. Changing my major from education to sociology, I would have never known if it weren't for like that hands-on experience. In my Bonner sites, I get to like serve a lot of different people, so I've gotten to serve survivors of sex trafficking, of sexual abuse, children that come from hard places, or immigration populations, and I feel like those have been so like irreplaceable, and I think it has also helped me find my way, because I know, like I said earlier, I've always known that I wanted to help people, but those have also like really helped me see in what ways like just gives me the most passion or the most like motivation to keep doing those things.
My name is Jansen Slaughter. I am a religion and psychology double major, and I'm from Rome, Georgia. I think I came in freshman year very self-centered. So I chose Barry mainly because of football. I wanted to go and play football after high school and college, and kind of been a dream of mine for a long time. I think for the most part, like I was like, this is all about me. Like, I'm coming to play football. Like, look at me, I'm a football player, and like I'm in wind shape. Like, I'm super involved, and like I think for a long time, like it was just about me. Football is hard, and I was not expecting the drastic change from high school football to college football. And then wind shape has definitely shaped me. Not only wind shape college program, but also wind shape camps, just in ways that I could never imagine. Sophomore year, I decided to quit football, which I think was a really good decision for me. Sophomore year, I got involved with Common Worship, which has been such a crucial aspect of my college ministry experience. And so stopped playing football, and like God immediately opened that door to get involved with Common Worship. And so junior year, I became the leader of Common Worship, which was awesome, just very fun, but also very humbling. Leadership really brings out a lot of your faults and a lot of your insecurities and your pride. You learn a lot about yourself as a leader, because all of you is put forth in front of everybody else. And so that was very difficult and hard and beautiful in all the ways.
So there's a lot of pressure and a lot of angst that junior year. And then you hit senior year and you start to have nostalgia of, oh, it's gone by so fast. Like, how did this happen? Where did the last 3 years go? And this, oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, you know. And so you start to pack in every experience that you can because you want to savor every moment.
So senior year was definitely, and has still been, a year to remember. One way to describe the senior class is just like how unified we are, and also like very involved. I would say our class is very involved and very like outgoing.
Something happens over Christmas break where it starts to become 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and this natural transition begins to happen.
It's kind of weird to be a senior at Barry. Like, it hasn't really, I guess it has sunk in ways, but in other ways it just hasn't. I'm like, how is this here already? Excited to graduate, but also very sad to leave Barry. So kind of like the bittersweet scenario, I guess I would say.
You start to get job offers, you start to see life beyond the gate of opportunity, and so there's this excitement and anticipation of moving forward and just ready to start your life, while also being kind of 1 foot still, not quite ready to leave.
Kind of now this season, this past semester, and like looking forward to the end of this semester, is just figuring out job things and like actually getting to like work for the Winship College program after college and move to Orlando, which I'm just super stoked about. But even though that's awesome, like it's also come with like a lot of difficulties and like a lot of stressors and anxiety, because it's a lot of unknown and a lot of uncertainty. Yeah, and I think just like trying to make the most of the last time that we have together, I think is also kind of a general theme of the senior class. Truly, like, I've not only changed drastically in my faith, but like just drastically as a person.
College can be such a formative stage for young adults, but that's also what we're designed to do, is help you explore who you are, what you want to do, what you believe.
The person you are when you graduate from high school is not the person that you we hope that you are when you're walking out into the world of being ready to carry on adult responsibilities.
How would I describe Berry students?
Aspiring as well as inspiring.
Caring,
Industrious,
Brilliant,
Diligent,
engaged,
hardworking.
hardworking,
Very genuine.
There's not one student that just models what a Berry College student is going to look like or feel like or be like.
they tend to see beyond themselves. They tend to care about things that are bigger than themselves. So there's kind of a humility and an understanding that I'm part of something bigger, and I want to make a difference.
they want to do good things and be good people, and that's how I would describe them. Just overall, just really nice, polite students.
If I could give any advice to a freshman, to a sophomore, to anyone really, is like try to, as best you can, to live an unhurried life. Finding ways to like slow down, whether it's driving the speed limit or getting in the longest line at the grocery store. College is crazy and college is fun and is wild, but finding that peace in the midst of the chaos and that slowness in the midst of the chaos is huge.
Taking time to kind of recoup and like regain, like put my feet back on the ground and kind of understand that I'm like in this place for a reason, and like I have all these things that I have to do, but I still need time for myself. That's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned.
If you're in a moment of hardship, you're not alone and you're gonna get through it. And there are people who are around you who care a lot about you.
You know, you're gonna change as a person, but I don't think you should ever change who you are to cater to anybody else or a certain particular group or to be a certain type of person. Learn to accept yourself and work on like being the best you. It's not about trying to be somebody else. It is okay to be unique. Like, I love it and I'm here for it, and I think everybody should be okay with being different.
Be thoughtful about who you want to be, where you want to go, who you want to be surrounded by. Try on things that are different, because that's only going to either solidify who you've always thought you were or who you thought you wanted to be, or it solidifies that you need to adjust. So don't be afraid of different.
The field that I work in, that's part of why I exist. And I think others across campus work at a college because they like supporting students as they figure out their identity. It's not always easy. It's not always pretty. Sometimes it's really hard and a lot of tears or cuss words. But in the end, I hope that when students graduate, they're a little more sure of who they are and what they want to accomplish.
My hope is that students experience the fullness that Berry has to offer, because it's rich and it's deep and it's wide, and it really is a great educational experience in and outside the classroom. So my hope is that you leave this place full. Friendship, love, knowledge, all the above.